Russian hackers may have stolen up to 1.2 billion usernames and passwords in possibly the biggest ever internet security breach. The details could include more than 500 million email addresses. That's according to Hold Security. That's a U.S. firm specializing in discovering hacks. Now, it says the stolen information came from more than 420,000 websites. Let's go live now to Las Vegas and speak with Internet security analyst Vincent Liu. Vincent Liu, thank you so much for joining us. So they may have stolen up to 1.2 billion usernames. I think Hold Security is describing it as the largest data breach known to date. I mean, how worried should we be about this?
Well, I think there's a lot of supposition that's been going around about how big the data breach is, what the impact will be, but I think I'd caution, some level of just patience and keeping an eye out for things, because I don't think we're necessarily more at risk today than we were 2 days ago when we didn't know about the breach.
Well, certainly when similar breaches have happened, websites like, I'm just thinking eBay a couple of months ago, immediately emailed their customers and said, change the password. We haven't seen anything like that now. But just talk us through how we understand this group actually managed to get access to all these usernames and passwords.
Sure. What they did was they used a botnet-based attack, which is to say that they used a lot of machines that had been compromised previously with malware. And they performed what was called a SQL injection attack against websites, against companies that had websites, and essentially looked for low-hanging fruit. It's the internet equivalent of going around and sort of shaking the door handle on cars, or trying to see if a window's unlocked. And what they did was they used that vulnerability that they identified to try and steal credentials from those websites.
Well, the way you explain it doesn't seem like a particularly sophisticated hack, but it still could have huge repercussions.
It wasn't sophisticated, you're right. It was a fairly low-tech type of hack using pretty common techniques, but because of the scale, absolutely. It could have a very large impact depending on what they decide to do with that information.
Okay, is there anything that internet users could do now to try and keep their accounts secure?
I think a lot of the advice that's been put out already is something that I'd also recommend, including making sure that you're using different passwords for each site that you're using, and then using a password manager to make sure that you track those in an organized fashion.
Okay, Vincent Liu, Internet security analyst, thank you so much for joining us.